Testing 1, 2. There we go. All right. Hello. So I am going to just spend some time here playing with JavaScript linters for VS Code. I'm interested in seeing how that works. So let me make one quick adjustment to that. Then I'll go back there. Okay. One of my lights isn't working, so let's get that fixed. I really need a... There we go. Whew. Makes me look really white. There, do that. I'm amazed at how much work I put into creating a good system, and it's not even that perfect yet. Okay, so here's what I am doing. Let me record this first. All right, so here's what I'm doing. I was kind of avoiding doing some more work today, and I wanted to play with the development environment a little bit. I'm actually not using the development environment. I'm using the starter file in the data table starter file that I've been working on and doing some other stuff with. So anyway, one of the questions that people ask a lot during the training sessions is, how does it work that your code looks different than mine? Whenever I am doing some coding and I make a save, my code formats itself, it does something. And people always are asking about that. So let me just look here. Only one person's watching. Hello. Anyway, so I decided to spend some time this Friday trying to understand how this all works, how my code is actually doing the formatting. And so I am playing with this, and I discovered that there are two things that are at work here in my system. One of them is called, and it's down here at the bottom, one of them is called ESLint, and the other one is called Prettier. And both of these, I can hear gotta get rid of that. Both of these, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to just, there we go, get rid of those. Both of these are working to work on my code, to change it up, to prettify it, and to look for different patterns. So I wanted to figure out how to make it work for the environment, so that when you install this environment, when you download the template and start working with it, it is part of the environment, and you will get the same formatting that I have. So here's what's going on. As I understand it, ESLint is it's a application, I don't know, a server, it's something. It's a tool, I guess. It's a tool for identifying and reporting on patterns found in ECMAScript JavaScript code, with the goal of making the code more consistent and avoid bugs. Okay, let's figure this out. So it looks like you install it. So we'll install it, which I actually already did. And then you need to set up a config file by running this command. And then in that configuration file, you can set up some rules that tell ESLint, when I go to save my code or after a delay, if you see this thing, you should handle it as an error or ignore it. So like quotes, I can tell ESLint I want to use single quotes or double quotes. Do I want a semicolon at the end of each line or not? And this will actually, I think it will actually do the formatting for you. So if you don't put a semicolon on there, in fact, we'll test it. Actually, I don't know if this is going to do it. That may be where prettier comes in. Prettier may do the same thing. This is just going to point out the error. What prettier will do is actually fix the error for me. So I think that's what's going on. And if you see this, tell me I'm wrong, and we'll fix it. I'm gonna look. Actually, I'm gonna pass off this this live stream to the community. I'm just playing with some live streaming, see what happens here. Live streaming, join me. All right, there we go. Boom. All right, we'll just do that. Okay, so let's go through this. We'll set this aside, and now I actually already did some of this stuff. I did an npm install of the ESLint. And when I did that, it installed these dev dependencies. Now, again, as I've explained many times, anything that's in this dev dependencies object will never be bundled up and be part of the code that runs into FileMaker. The only code that will actually be in there is the HTML in the HTML file, the JavaScript, the CSS in their files, and any packages that I install as a dependency. DEPENDENCIS. So anything that comes in this object right here will be part of what goes into the FileMaker file when I do the deploy. But this one, these dev dependencies will not. So that's good because there's a lot. Okay, so I've got these all going, and what the instructions told me to do, of course, then was to create that ESLint file. So I did that. Yeah, okay. So then I think here's what I did. Okay, so I installed this. I actually created a ESLint.eslintrc.js file. That's what this command did right here. So it created this file, and then I put in some information here. I put in these rules that tell my code how to behave, or actually more importantly, it tells the code how to what to render as an error, to show as an error. And I don't fully understand it all yet, but I'm gonna play with it and see. There we go. Okay, so let's see here. The rules define things like a semicolon. I can turn it off, and then, so I think the first part is show it as an error. And here is the rule that I want you to actually format it as, is never. So if I go into my index.js and I put a semicolon at the end of a code block and then I save it, it disappears. What I could do is tell ESLint, let's see, I could say, do an error right there. So that when I do that, actually, here, let me try something. I'm gonna disable this for a minute. So this is the thing that I'm struggling with is, I think actually let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna do something quick. I'm gonna go into my prettier, and we'll do end of line, trailing comma. So, okay, so let's go back here and go to my index.js, put a semicolon there, boom. And now I'm getting an error that's underlined. And you can see there, if I hover over it, it says extra semicolon, ESLint, semi, that's the rule. And there it is. I could fix the problem, or I could view the problem by hovering over it again. Come on. And then I could do a quick fix. So if I did a quick fix, command period, it would actually say, I could use one of these options here. Fix the semi problem, disable semi for this line, fix all of them. So there we go. Okay, so it actually fixes it. So ESLint is going to point out the rules. What if I put in warn here? Because that's one of the other options. And I put the semicolon there. So now I'm getting this blue underline that tells me it's a problem and I should fix it. Okay, so this is nice. So as the author of this JS dev environment, I can set up some rules that I think are common for people, and especially that I'm going to follow as well, so that when you view my code, when you're part of training sessions or watch YouTube, for example, whatever, and you follow along with me, whatever I have on the screen, your formatting will look the same as far as errors are concerned. So I assume there's more rules to follow. I haven't found them all yet, but I assume, so there is, interesting, shareable configs. Okay, so this is interesting. I could create a export configuration object. See if I can find quotes. I've got that. Okay. See if I can find any more rules. I don't know. So each ESLint has three. Each rule in ESLint has three files named with its identifier. Okay, so where would that be? Is it in the node modules? I guess it would be ESLint, library, and rules. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of rules here. Let's see, what other rule could I do? No lonely ifs. Interesting. Rule to disallow the if as the only statement in an else block. Let's see what else. I'm not sure. I have no idea which one. Yoda? What is Yoda? I have no idea. Switch colon spacing. Okay, that's another rule. Interesting. Okay, so I have a ton of rules in here that I could put into place. And this would actually show me that the error is happening, show me that the thing is happening. That's interesting. It would underline it, comma style, comma dangle, comma spacing, oh, that's interesting, camel case. Rule to flag non-camel case identifiers. Let's put that in there. So camel case, and then we're going to put camel case. We'll do error, and I'm not sure, maybe never, because never is, it will never fix it. I think, I don't know, let's see. I may have to look that up. So if I did load table, would it point out that error? Let's try that again. Error, let's just put in a 2. See what that does. Camel case. All right. So I save it. It's not getting upset with me. Let's see if I can figure that out. So ESLint camel case. Here Here it is. Oh, okay. Properties always. Okay, so it's properties always. Property names, okay. Allow. So I don't know. Never, does not check property names. All right, so let's just put this in there. Properties always, and then objects. Okay, so that's what it was. So let's go back to the ESLint file where the rules are. And we're gonna use case colon, oh my gosh, I can't type today. 2 comma properties. Maybe I do need to put that in an array. There we go. All right, so now when I go to index.js, I mean, there's other problems with this. I do not see what is happening, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. So let's see, load table. Maybe because it's not a property, if I did title of person, I don't know, is that going to give me an error? Nope. Okay, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. 0, 1, 2, let's see, what are these numbers? I forget. ESLint, oh my gosh, where is my browser? Here we go. ESLint 2. Configuring, okay, so this is what I was looking for. Let's see. Configuring rules. Off, warning, and error. So if I put in error here, I'm going to just change it to error so I know what it's doing. By the way, it's single quoting itself because my prettier is fixing that for me, which we'll look at next. Okay, so I'm not sure why it's not catching these errors. Load table. Maybe because it's not a property. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Maybe if I did this. Title of person. I don't know. I don't know what that error is. I'll have to look into that and see. All right. So that doesn't seem to be a useful rule at the moment, but I think, and it doesn't really matter what the rules are as long as they are consistent in the JavaScript development environment so that people can use them, and then when they see me working my code, it's there. What it is doing, though, I noticed, is that it's pointing out some errors in my code. It's pointing out, it's not errors, like it's still going to build fine down here, but it's pointing out pattern problems. That's what this underline is. It's telling me that I should, it says, there's actually 2 errors. Unexpected var, use let or const instead. And that's because I have a rule that says no vars, no var. And then this one is 4 is assigned a value but never used. Okay, that's interesting. So it's telling me that I can't use any unused vars. That's nice. Same for this one. Now that's an error. Those are errors, but they're not really errors. I'm going to actually change those to warnings because I don't want people to think that the red squiggly line means that their code is busted. It's a pattern problem. So we should fix the patterns. Let's do that. All right, this is no unused vars. How is that? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I need to change this to, I think, what was it? It was warning is 1. Okay, I'll just do this. I'll just do warn. There we go. All right. All right, and what is this one? What is this error still? No unused vars. Okay. I think I have an extra rule thingy in here, so I have to fix that, but this is certainly that. And yeah, I think that's what's going on. I need to get rid of that. See if I can get rid of that. Okay, so that's interesting. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. No undef. I'm going to turn that off. So no undef colon off. Now, because there might be times when stuff in here is it seems like it's undefined, but it really is defined. Okay, so that looks good. All right, so and we see the comma dangle, it's called, trailing comma, as a warning. That's just the last property in an object shouldn't have a comma. At least we don't do that in FileMaker, so we shouldn't really do that in here. Okay, so I like this. I'm not sure that I like the single quotes. I'm gonna have to fix that. So if I say that, all right, so here's what it's doing is it's actually, this is what I want is double quotes, and it's giving me a warning, so the blue underline, but it's not actually fixing it. And that's where the next extension or the next thing that I have comes in, and that is prettier. So prettier is another thing that I install. So let's see, let's go to its code. Where is it at? Prettier. All right, here it is. Let's bring it over here. So prettier allows me to install it. It gives me directions for installing it. I did this, and then I did this. And then I created this prettier.ignore file. And again, this is going to be part of the development environment going forward. So you don't actually have to do this. You could do this right now with objects, with files you have. But from now on, or in a few days, a few hours, every time you download the item, it will, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, cool. Let's see there. I'm gonna say hello. Hello. Who's there? Only 2 people are watching. One of them's me on YouTube. That's all right. Anyway, all right, so let's see here. So I'm installing this prettier. And then I need to, this is interesting. I have to figure out how this works with make ESLint and prettier play nice. But what I think prettier is doing is it's got its own rules, its own configuration. Now, and prettier actually is going to do the work to fix the issues. Okay, so ESLint just points out the issues with the red or the blue underlines in my case. I can fix the problem here, but what prettier does is, if I go to, single quote, and I say false, then when I go over here and I press Command S, it fixes it all for me. There you go. Yes, Bill. Yes, Bill. It counts. Cool. All right. So now I got 4 people watching. Woohoo! It's the most I've ever had watching. All right. So I'm just trying to get this to work. Oh man, Joe. Sorry, you have COVID. Ugh. That's unfortunate. Sorry about that. So what I'm trying to do, fellas, is just build my environment to handle all the formatting, because as especially you, Joe, know, people ask, like, why does your code look different than mine? And it comes down to formatting. So if I add some formatting, rules to the development environment, then you get to what am I saying? Then you get to make the code look the same. So my code is the same as yours. So I'm just adding some rules. This prettier thing that this prettier configuration is really cool because it actually fixes these issues. And I watched a couple of videos by the author of this. He said, I really just want people to write code. I don't want them to have to worry about the formatting and the editing of it. So I'm just going to fix all of the issues. So like quotes, end of lines. Actually, it's got a print width, which I think is pretty cool. And I think this is where I got a lot of questions about asking, why is your code different? But the print width, well, if I change it to a higher number, 80, and I go to my index.js and I save it, it actually will, it'll let the code expand itself wider across the screen. It's basically just 80 characters long. That's the maximum. None of this is necessary. I guess if I were to put something like this in, just do this, get a lot of characters in there. I have no idea how many characters, and I save that. It may fix that for me if I say the prettier JSON is 40 characters. Then I do a save. It's probably going to ignore that because that's a string. I think that's actually propose or prose wrap, preserve quote props. So anyway, this is going to fix the mistakes. Here's an example of fixing the issues. So if I put a tab width of 12 and I go back here and I save it, it's going to tab way 12 characters. But then ESLint is telling me, hey, you should only have 2 in there. So might want to, I don't think I would ever have 12. But I think I could go to this and say, what was it? Tab. I'm glad, Bill. I'm glad if you're still there. And Joe, it's good to have you here. This is fun to do a live stream, just stumbling through stuff. So it's called indent. So I could say indent, and I could just do error 12. So this is funny. Okay, so now the error isn't there because I have turned off the error configuration in the ESLint. The prettier did it for me, and if I take this back to 2, which is standard and probably is what I'll keep, then I'm going to get another error saying, hey, I expected 24 spaces, but but found 4. So I got to go back here and just, I'm just going to get rid of this because the default is 2 for both things. There we go. Okay. So we have interesting stuff going on here. Okay, so I think, this is pretty basic. These 2 files right here, prettier.rc.json and the ESLint, if I get the configuration right between these 2, then whenever you download this code, the development environment, and you're working along with me in a recorded video or live, this will help you make yours look as close to mine as possible. Now, of course, that's interesting, the file path. I have to think about that. I wonder if I need that. Do I need that? I wonder if that would break if I got rid of that. So if I did this, okay, so I have to read about that file path because that's mine. Anyway, so my point is that we can have this, and then it's sort of universal for us. I have to read about what these are, but this is kind of cool. I like this. indent with tabs instead of spaces. What? Tabs instead of spaces. Oh, okay. So I can put tabs in. Tab width is 12. Interesting. Okay. So this is kind of the start. I don't quite know everything about it, but I think I'm on the right way. I believe, let's try something here. Okay, so I'm making a lot of changes to this data table starter. I might as well just push it all up. Let's look at that. Nope, it's not what I wanted to do. What's happening here? What's going on? Let's get rid of this and move this down. There it is. Okay. So I've made a lot of changes. I'm just adding some stuff to make this really nice. Actually, I should clean that up before I commit it. But what I'm trying to do, folks, here is I'm trying to put in create a data table starter so that you can take this and in less than 20 minutes, get this hooked up to your app with your real data. And you would just have to install a few things into your FileMaker app, and then you would have to make some changes to the columns, but it should work pretty well. So I'm actually going to get rid of this because I don't want that to be the case. Just do that. All right, so I'm going to quickly make sure that this is still working. So let's go to the FileMaker file and update it. Okay, so there we go. So this is my configuration. Oh, you didn't see that. This is my configuration. There's no data because that would come in. And as a developer, all you would have to do is change the columns to match your data. That's pretty much it. So that's what I'm trying to do with this. So let's commit all this stuff. Actually, I'm just going to do one more thing. I am going to, let's see here. I'm going to stop the server from running. I'm going to close the FileMaker file. Do I want to do, sure, I'm going to do that. npm run build :upload. There we go. So I have this latest version in here. So there we go. Great. Okay. Okay, so I close that. Then I'm going to go to my commits. I've made a lot of changes, and I'm going to fix them here. I think I'm going to get rid of that change. And then I'll add this. I'm going to add that. Okay, so I'm going to stage a bunch of changes here. I'm going to say this index file. All I did was I installed Bootstrap. Okay. So I commit that. The rest of them are unstaged and uncommitted. Then the next one, I'm going to stage that change and say cleared out specific code made more generic. I don't know, something like that. Cleaned it up, basically. And then the rest of this, I'll do that with this. This one is the FileMaker file, FM file update. I don't remember what I did. And the rest of this is adding the configuring ESLint and prettier. Okay. So now I can sync these changes. And then this means that now that when you download this, it should work. We should have the same look. I'll have to test that out in my next development, in my next cohort. So I'll do that starting Tuesday because there's a new cohort starting on Tuesday. All right, well, that was fun. I did have to do quite a few things. This is not the JS dev environment, so I have to go and replicate all this in the JS dev environment and then push that. But yeah, that should be it. All right, so I guess that's it. On a Friday afternoon, 3:27 my time. It's about time to cut out of work and just enjoy the weekend, although I'm sure I'll be working over the weekend. But yeah, this is a good thing. I like this idea of giving my development environment the same look so that everybody who uses it will and then work with me will not be confused by the the change of how it looks different. Yeah, Bill, you're gonna have to do that. You should join me in the training sessions. I got one starting Tuesday, but it's pretty awesome. I do demonstrate it every week in office hours, which I can give you the link. It'll be in the description of this video, and it's in the community, of course. So yeah, Bill, you could do that. I'd love for you to figure it out. It's pretty awesome, isn't it, Joe? If you're there. I'm not sure if you're there anymore. I don't think he is. Anyway, all right. Well, thanks for stopping by. We'll make this video available afterwards, but just wanted to have some fun. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. And I'm not very clear about this yet. Where is OBS? Boom. Boom. Where? YouTube, Bill, thank you. I appreciate it, and hope to see you very soon. All right? Talk to you later. Bye.